dedicated every penny collected at the pump to roads. That makes sense to people. They don't know why we were one of the states that had one of the highest gas taxes with one of the lowest percentages going to roads. Now all of the money collected at the pump will go to roads. That really drove this budget conversation, that agreement between Governor Whitmer and myself and the House Republicans that we were going to fix our local roads. And once we got that plan in place, then the rest of the budget came together.
Almost half of the state's $1.8 billion in road funding goes to local roads, with nearly $180 million marked for state trunk line highways, $246 million for city and village roads, and over $456 million for county roads.
Now, that was Speaker Matt Hall on the news discussing the budget deal. You know, Michigan has been talking about fixing roads for years. Now, under this new plan, nearly $2 billion in long-term funding has been locked in to repair and rebuild the infrastructure of Michigan. It's a massive commitment meant to finally move Michigan from quick fixes to real investment. Our guest today has been in the middle of this debate. Representative Donni Steele represents Michigan's 54th District, covering parts of Oakland County, including Orion Township, Bloomfield Hills, and Auburn Hills. She's a business owner, former township trustee, and one of the most active voices in the House on infrastructure, transparency, and education accountability. Representative Steele, welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me this morning. Beautiful, brisk morning.
Yes, it is brisk. Let's start with what everyone can relate to. Potholes, bridges, detours. I mean, Michigan's roads have become a punchline for years. I mean, I know I've run over a few of them. What makes this long-term road funding different from the patchwork plans we've seen before?
Well, you know, and it was in the commentary that you just ran of Matt Hall, of taking all the dollars that are paid at the pump and put them into the roads. And there was a close to $1 billion that was not going to the roads. It was just going to the general fund. And then they've reallocated that to put that into the roads.
Wow.
And so what took so long, I don't know, because everybody was verbally in agreement to use that fund to put in the road. And I don't know what took so long we put the laws into place, and it took a while for the Senate and the governor to sign those bills to move the budget forward.
Yeah, it sounds like leadership is what took so long, having people in the House who were willing to lead on this, and you were one of those people. I mean, you know, I know others may not do it, but I want to pat you on the back. I'll give you an atta girl, you know.
Thanks.
Congratulations. But
thanks.
You know, Representative, you talked about from the driveway to the highway. What does that mean for everyday Michiganders? How does this plan reach local roads that just seem to never get touched?
Well, what happens is the counties are pretty much in charge of most of the roads that are in the townships, not in the cities or the villages, which ends up being including the subdivisions. So a new subdivision goes in like, say, Canton, and those roads are now deeded over to the county, and they are now responsible for maintaining those, like, interior roads.
Yeah.
And so they're the last on the list because they're not as used as much, and they're not as big of a safety issue as, like, 15-mile road.
Yeah, yeah. Now, my radio show has a huge footprint in your district. Let's talk about your district. What specific projects are at the top of the list so that people that are listening, which roads or corridors will people see first under this plan within your district?
You know what? There is a Pazer map that the county takes all the roads and puts them in priority based on safety and usage.
Yeah.
And so, like last year, the project they did was Square Lake, at the corner of Square Lake and Woodward. And to be honest, I don't know what's the first one to be on the list.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, After this call, I'm going to call the road commission and say, okay, which roads are you fixing in my district so I can tell everybody I'm responsible?
Yeah. I mean, when you look across the country, I know in Illinois because when I was a legislator there, the unions controlled a lot of the road fund. Um, and it seems like every year was construction season. They were fixing a road. Now, when you think about how do I put this? Michigan winters destroy pavement. Does this plan include funding for materials that can actually withstand the weather long term, or will this be a lot more of the short term patches until the finality of this bill sets in?
Well, you know what? Each road is taken into consideration differently, and if they can just do an overlay where they scrape off the top, and then just do a repavement, and it'll save the integrity of the road. That's what they'll do.
Yeah.
If they can save a road by just fixing the potholes, that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
And if they have to do a reconstruction because there's no other way to fix it, that's what they'll do. So it just really depends on the road, and the integrity of the road at its current state.
What's your message to the Michiganders who say, we've heard this before, I'll believe it when I see it?
You'll see 33% more in your local roads than you have in the past, and I'm hoping that you'll see it in your subdivisions and your roads that you get on before you get on the highway.
Yeah.
That's what my goal has been, and I hope that we're able to start that. And so whatever was in the queue and whatever is ready, like engineer ready, those should be the ones that are hit upon immediately.
Let's talk about another subject that's under your purview and something that you've been fighting for since you first came to Michigan: education. There's been a lot of talk about some 51-page rewrite to Michigan's education standards. I know a lot of people are up in arms. What's going on with this 51-page bill? It's not a bill. It's standards, I believe. And I believe there was a hearing. I had someone call into the show, and they were really upset. What's going on with the education standards in Michigan? And what did that bill pass, or that those standards, did they get voted on? Is it going to be the way of the law of the land, per se? I guess I should say, rather. What's going on with education as it relates to Michiganders?
So that's a really interesting question. And what happened is there's a Board of Education at the state level, and they decide the curriculum for the entire state with their rules and promulgations.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wanted to do, and they're still moving towards it, is putting health education and sex education in one curriculum labeled health education.
Mm.
And so K through 12, you have to have health education, but the sex education is a optional opt-in curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And the health education, if you combine them, it won't be an opt-in. And some of the things that they want to teach in health education, parents are up in arms because they want it to be able to have the opportunity to opt in or not. And once you switch it, they won't have that opportunity.
Yeah. Now, how does this, when you think about the federal norms and standards that the Trump administration has put forth, and he's basically said that if you go against what they're trying to do from a federal perspective, he's going to pull funding. Are you guys concerned that if standards like this find its way in schools and parents are up in arms about it? Are you afraid that Michigan will lose some funding? And what is the governor talking about this? Is this part of the conversations that are being had right now?
You know what? That's a good question. I have not heard the governor weigh in, and I don't know if this combination would put federal funding at risk, but that's worth checking into. But they filled the room. They had hours of commentary. They had written commentary saying that parents don't like this combination. And I'm hopeful that the Board of Education will take that commentary into their choice of whether or not to change the curriculum.
Yeah. You know, one thing that gives me solace is knowing that you're there and that you'll be and I think the people need to truly understand that because you're there, you'll be one of those voices that speak out and continues to push so that parents know that they have somebody in Lansing that's there for them. And I'm sure your constituents know that about you. And that's what I'm very appreciative of as it relates to State Representative Donni Steele.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know what? We need all the encouragement we get, because sometimes it's not so pleasant having to go into battle for these issues that are just so unintended consequences.
You know, you there's a bill. I don't know if you sponsored it or if you introduced it, but you have a bill that focuses on, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart. One of your bill focuses on putting suicide prevention and mental health contacts directly on student ID cards. Why was that important to you personally, and what impact do you hope it has?
Well, Orion Township is right next door to Oxford, and our communities are connected at the hip.
Yeah.
And what happened to Oxford happened to Orion. And these ID cards basically give an opportunity for kids to call in when they believe that there's a threat or an internal threat or an external threat.
Mm.
And it's on your identification card, so it's easily accessible.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate and thank you for that, Bill. As you know, my son committed suicide, and this is something the whole mental health aspect is something that I am truly, and anything that to help our young people at this moment is something that I'll get 1,000% behind. So I really appreciate that. But here's another question for you. Now I'm about to get you a little bit of trouble. Why didn't you run for Michigan Senate?
You know what? Thank you, because everybody says, you're doing just great right where you are. Stay where you are. Well, I live in Orion, and I used to sell real estate in North Oakland County.
Yeah.
And it's a new district, and it's North Oakland County and South Lapeer County. And it just seems like a natural fit. And I have the energy to take on a bigger district and a bigger constituency, and I want to be able to serve to the capacity that I am, right, that I have the energy for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
sounds like a canned answer, doesn't it?
I guess I'll go with that. But
I'm working on it.
But as I'm out and about in Michigan, I hear a lot. A lot of the voters feel Lansing is completely out of touch. What is there anything you've heard directly from your constituents that change your perspective of approach as you are in Lansing, thinking about what the people in your district are going through and how you can make their lives better?
You know what? I had a meet and greet with residents in the new district over the weekend, and I think resoundingly they are tired of everything taking so long.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to fix the roads, fix the roads.
Yeah.
If the school grades are bad and our schools are not doing well, fix it.
Yeah.
We're tired of standing around waiting and paying taxes, and things take forever.
Mm.
That's what it was resounding.
Wow. I guess What's your message to parents who feel, how do I say, forgotten by state government? When you think about parents juggling high taxes, crumbling roads, and schools that feel more political than personal, what's your message to those people?
We hear you, and we're trying, and we found ourselves in a system that is broken to try to bring you what you want out of government. And to work in that broken environment is hard, but we're trying every day to make the state of Michigan better.
Wow. Representative Donni Steele, listen, as long as you're there, I know that the people of your district is in good hands. And I know what it's like also to, be in the arena, in the battle, and just how people judge every single decision you make and how tough sometimes it can get, and it wears on you. I hope you're safe. I know that there was some threats. I know Vance Patrick made a post about somebody making threats to someone running for office. I hope you are doing and making sure that you're taking necessary precautions so that you protect yourself as well. I hope that's something you're doing. Donni Steele, that's all the time we have today, but I really do appreciate it. And I told Vance that he and I are going to go down to Lansing probably the next time I'm in, and I would love to come down there and come into the house and just meet you.
I would love it. Take you on the floor, introduce you.
Yeah.
You wave and say, I'm glad I'm not here anymore.
That's so true. Representative Donni Steele, who represents Michigan's 54th District, thanks so much for joining us on Detroit's Morning Answer today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
I
just want to say I'm sorry about your family, too.
Thank you.
You mentioned that. God bless you and your family.
Well, the book now, I just signed an option agreement to make the book into a movie. So I am beyond thrilled right now.
Good.
So the entire world will be able to see the message of my son and letters to John Boy. So I appreciate it.
I will look for that. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, the conversation, it simply doesn't end here. You can learn more about these bills, the education hearings, and the local road projects on the Michigan House Republican site or at Representative Steele's page. Paul, we need more people like her. She's golden. She is like the salt of the earth. We need more people like her because it's about the people. And if you have elected officials who are concerned and worried about winning re-election, vote them out. Vote out anybody who all they care about is power and control. That's not Representative Donni Steele. Her heart, her mission, her vision is for the people of her district. And if it doesn't affect her district, how does it affect the rest of the state? That's a stateswoman or a statesman. I'm going to call it what it is. I'm not going to be politically correct. She knows what I mean. That's a statesman. And we need more statesmen in our halls of power, people who will do whatever it takes to ensure that the people are taken care of. That's what you want to look for in a representative. That's the representative form of government that I desire. Our founding fathers understood that. A lot of the people that we elect today don't. It's all about their ego and their self-interest. That has to end. Detroit's Morning Answer. We'll be right back.